You ever like kill someone and get away with it? I feel like that happens. It's kind of normal. It definitely did to the Texas Rangers when they won the World Series. I mean, I guess you can say they haven't been getting away with it the way things have since gone, but they still won the chip, and you can't get that taken from you even if you cheated for it. Rob Manfred said that once, but it really feels like they struck a deal with the devil to win that year. To this day, it makes no sense. I mean, they swept the Rays and Orioles and somehow outlasted a Houston team that seemed bound to potentially repeat. Everything about the Rangers in 2023 seemed like the baseball gods were just on their side, which is totally fine. It just also means their team was never objectively going to last. It was just a one-year thing. At least that's how it looks. The Rangers and their defending champs here just fell off a cliff. Corey Seager was the only hitter who kept up his success from the previous season. Same goes for Nathan Eovaldi for the pitching. The team overall was just lousy, but there was still potential. I mean, they just won the whole damn thing not even 2 years ago. They're getting Jacob deGrom back for a full season. Like, they gotta bounce back, right? Well, the answer to that is the same answer to the question to if Elon Musk is Donald Trump's friend anymore. No. Both answers are no. I guess I really underestimated how weak their offense was. That definitely had to do with me ignoring the down years pretty much all of their hitters had last year, which is something I definitely did not do with the Mariners. The Mariners I couldn't be more down on with their offense going into this season, but with Texas, I just assumed this wouldn't happen again. I mean, there's no way that they'd all underperform again, right? Right? Oh, no, it's the same as last year, just make it even worse because even Seager is struggling. If you told me before the season that the American League West Division would feature a team with a top 3 pitching staff and a bottom 5 offense, I wouldn't be shocked at all. I would also believe it was the Mariners. When I tell you my jaw hit the floor when I saw the Texas Rangers team ERA this season. Well, I'd be lying because that would be impossible. I mean, you really think my jaw would hit the floor? That's dumb, you moron. But oh my god, the Texas Rangers have the 3rd best ERA this season. They have objectively been an elite pitching staff. It's crazy. They have 3 starting pitchers in the running for the Cy Young Award. Yes, naturally, that will fall off a bit, but Tyler Mahle has a 2 ERA in over 70 innings. He doesn't strike a lot of guys out, just very good at limiting hard contact. Jacob deGrom isn't the vintage Jacob deGrom we've known in the past, but he's been very good. And then Nathan Eovaldi has arguably been the freaking best pitcher in baseball. Bro is aging like the finest of wines. Even Patrick Corbin has been good. He hasn't been good since before we knew what COVID-19 was. The Rangers somehow have built this magical pitching lab to have a top pitching staff, but it also seems like they had to sacrifice their entire offense for it. Like Thanos collecting all those Infinity Stones. Marcus Semien has always been one of my favorite players in baseball, mainly because he provides such an underrated thing, and that's availability. Since 2018, the most games this man has missed in a full season is 3. 3. This man plays more games than your ex could ever dream. He plays so much, he was a part of literally every pitch during the championship season. He had more plate appearances than anyone ever in any year in the history of ever. It's cool as hell, and none of that's changed. He's still always healthy and out there. He's just not hitting at all. He was actually an all-star last season, which definitely had a lot to do with the fact that the game was being played in Texas because he didn't hit much last year. Sure, there were times here and there, but overall he was exactly league average as a hitter, and that's only shot way down in 2025. Now, was Semien ever a guy that you should count on to lead a lineup offensively? No. He's more of a guy you have to look at the overall picture than just his hitting stats to see his true value, like how reliable he is to stay healthy and play every game every year, and his elite defensive range. He's never been an elite player by just his bat, but he still should be a lot better than what he's been since 2023 ended. And he hasn't. His batting average is the worst it's ever been. He's providing very little power, just straight up not having a fun time out there, and it sucks to see with Semien being one of my favorite players, but he's also not alone. The best OPS on this team belongs to Wyatt Langford, and it's 750. To give some context to that number, a 750 OPS would be the 8th best OPS on the Dodgers. It's the highest OPS on the Rangers, which yes, it's a lot comparing them to the Dodgers, but that still says a lot. Adolis Garcia is a guy who can't be much worse than he's been this year, and it doesn't help that there's a rift between him and the team regarding mechanical issues. The team has been wanting them to work on some changes to get back to the hitter he used to be, which he hasn't been so cooperative with. And as a result, he recently was benched for 4 games. Is Adolis Garcia supposed to be some MVP candidate? No, but like Semien, he still should be hitting way better than he has this year, which has been abysmal. He's not hitting at all. Jake Berger has always been an above average hitter. His entire career, it's been that way, even in his down year last year in Miami. But this year, his first in Texas, awful. It's like Texas is the new Seattle, where bats go to die, or at least Rangers bats. I don't know. The team's biggest offensive offseason addition, Jock Peterson, who signed a 2-year, $37 million contract, has been historically bad this year. And this is coming off a career year for him last year. Complete 180 in 2025. He started the season in his Rangers tenure after a few games going 0 for 41. You would have thought he was up there with a blindfold on, like Sandra Bullock. It took 42 at-bats in over 2 weeks for Jock to get one hit, a Rangers franchise record. Now, he has been much better since that stretch ended, so hopefully he gets back to what he did with the D-backs last year, but man, it's been rough. And when things go this bad, it has to fall on someone, with that someone being the Rangers hitting coach, firing him on Revenge of the 5th. And since that day, May 5th, when Brett Boone, Aaron's brother from the Yankees, took over as hitting coach, the Rangers team OPS is 642. Now, one man can't just magically change everything overnight, and firing the former hitting coach mostly was just about a change of voice, whether the struggles were his fault or not. But the reality is, whoever the hitting coach is, every hitter is different. There's no one-size-fits-all approach to fixing a lineup full of individual hitters. And it especially becomes hard when pretty much every single one of those individuals is going bad. And it's also the most frustrating part about this frickin' team, the fact that so much is lined up in their favor. From the pitching staff being so good to being in such a winnable division. I mean, it was the same way last year, and nothing's changed this year. The AL West is awful. It's so mid. Okay, those are two completely different things, awful and mid, but you get what I'm trying to say. And you could also say this for the entire American League, actually. Out of the 15 American League teams, there's only been 2 objectively good ones. The Yankees and Tigers, and even part of the reason those teams have been so good is because of how lame the other ones are. It's less about the Yankees or Tigers being elite and more so how lousy the other teams are. But for the West, the Astros are in first place right now. The Astros are not that good. If the Rangers had even just a mid offense, or even slightly below mid of an offense, anything better than what they have right now, they'd be in a lot better shape. The issue is they're close to being the absolute worst offense. Seriously, there's really nothing separating them from the Rockies, White Sox, or Pirates offense, the bottom 3. They're all neck and neck like those Siamese twins. Oh, and it also doesn't help when you play like your head is up your ball sack. After losing the first 2 games in Tampa in a recent series, the Rangers were well on their way to finally winning and avoiding a sweep. The Rays actually jumped ahead 1-0, but the Rangers answered right back and did enough of what they needed to do offensively for this game to win. Jake Berger popped one out, then Marcus Semien a couple innings later. He goes balls deep. It's 2-1, then does it again a couple innings after that, just stroking these balls to left like it's nothing. Hopefully this is the start to a hot stretch for Semien. It's 3-1 Rangers. In the 9th inning, they're 2 outs away from a win. Yandy Diaz gets a hit. Next hitter, Jonathan Aranda, doesn't see a single strike, just a pitch that almost clocks him in the face. And then another 2-strike hit by the Rays. Caminero, base hit to make it 3-2. All of a sudden, Rangers look like they're about to fumble this game, but then the next hitter, Jake Mangum, pops out to right on the first pitch. So 2 outs, Christopher Morel gets on via this grounder to load the bases. Josh Young made a nice snag on this, but him hesitating and looking to second cost any chance of him throwing Morel out at first. Next Rays hitter, Taylor Walls, gets to 2 strikes, another 2-strike count for Robert Garcia, and yet again for the 3rd time he can't get the strikeout. But he does get a little harmless ground ball to second. Only problem is nobody's covering first, so there's no throw to be made. The tying run scores, and Caminero, on his bobblehead night, who drove in the first 2 runs of this game for the Rays, including the first one in this inning, ignores the stop sign from his third base coach for some reason. He just says to hell with it. And it would make sense for the third base coach to throw up a stop sign. It's not like the ball got past anybody. Semien is holding on to the ball. He can easily throw Caminero out if he goes for home, right? Right? No, Caminero doesn't hesitate, and Semien doesn't realize he's on his way home until it's too late. He hesitated for like a millisecond too long, and it allows Caminero making the riskiest decision of anyone on the field to score the winning run. 2 runs scored on a simple ground ball to the second baseman that he fielded cleanly. You truly never know what you're going to see on any given day at a baseball game, and it's such a perfect way to show how much of a disaster it's been for the Rangers this season. On a day where Marcus Semien, who's been struggling all season offensively, actually goes off for 2 home runs, he screws up, where he rarely ever does defensively, to lose the game. Now, you can't fully pin this on Semien. Nobody was covering first base when the final out could have been recorded, which it's tricky because the first baseman, Berger, was also trying to field the ball in case Simeon wasn't able to, and by the time Simeon did, there was no way Berger could get back to the bag for the out. So it's not on Berger, it's on the pitcher, Garcia, for not immediately sprinting to first when the grounder was hit. That's the only way in this scenario they get Walls out at first. And it's also on Caminero for just making the bet of his life and having it work out. If the Rays had it their way in that moment, Caminero stays at third and the game keeps going. It's not over in that moment. Just a chaotic mess of a play all around that works out for Tampa and couldn't have ended more miserably for a Texas Rangers team that seems to be falling apart more and more every day. Can they dig themselves out of this mess? Let me know your thoughts and thank you for watching. Love you. Bye.